My mom saw some that she made for like a wedding. They're pretty sweet.
My life can't get worse. It really can.
They just look like.
Did she make
They
the
look
tier
so
ones
good.
for senior month?
They look so good.
Term one is first semester, grade and grade.
I hate my life so much.
Okay, so polar coordinates. This is this lesson. I am already recording, just FYI.
Oh, wow.
Okay, everything you've seen so far, whenever we talk about graphing on lines, we've done imaginary points, but almost everything's done on Cartesian plane, like your x, y coordinate points. Those are your rectangular coordinates. We're going to talk about how do you go from rectangular to polar coordinates, which would be on a polar graph, which is like a circular graph. Okay? No, I'm not going to make you graph them. So this is, we're going to talk about how do you go from here to here. R and theta. R, that's your distance. Like we talk about like the radius on a circle. This is your equation for R, that we talked about before. Okay, theta, that's the angle measurement. So everything we've talked about, this is the only thing that's really new, because we've used the tangent equation before and we've used the R equation before. So we're going to talk about how do you go from polar to rectangular on points and equations, and then we'll go the other direction as well. Okay? Alright, so if I want to go to rectangular, this is a polar coordinate, this is set up like this. So this is my R, and this is my theta. So to find x, x is R cosine theta. So then I just plug in. So this would be 2 times cosine of pi. Okay, now you're going to have to know what your unit circle is. So if you don't know it, use your paper plate or use something to help you. So this would be 2 times negative 1, because that's the cosine of pi, which is negative 2. Okay, then y is r sine theta. So this would be 2 sine pi. Sine of pi is 0, so this is 2 times 0, which is 0. So this is my x, this is my y. So my point is negative 2, 0. Okay, how was that? All right. Okay, so if I do another example, square root of my r, pi over 6 is my theta. So x would be square root of 3 cosine pi over 6. Okay, do you remember what cosine of pi over 6 is? Square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so square root of 3 times square root of 3 over 2. 3 over 2. And then y is square root of 3 sine pi over 6. So what would sine pi over 6 be? 1/2. So this would be square root of 3 over 2. So my point would be 3/2 square root of 3 over 2. Now, if the point is on the unit circle, like pi, pi over 6, pi over 4, you'll need to have your perfect answers. Okay, if it's not, then we'll use our calculator. So, okay, and make sure your calculator is in radians. Now, it's still set up in the same order. So the first thing is still r, so this is still r, and that's theta. So now to find x, this is negative 2.5 cosine 1.1. You guys okay if I do 2 decimal places, or do you want to do 4? So this would be negative 1.13. And if I want to find y, negative 2.5 sine 1.1. So this would be negative 2.23. So my point would be negative 1.13, negative 2.23. Okay, any questions on the first three? Okay, so then the other part, at least going this way, is going from the polar equation to the rectangular form. Okay, so when you're going from polar, you cannot have any more r's or any more thetas. Everything has to be converted to x's and y's. And these are really the only four things we know. I put this here because we'll have to use r squared sum, but all I did was square both sides. Okay? So the only thing we're going to use are the things we already know. Okay, anytime you see a sine or a cosine, the only thing over here that has sines and cosines are these. Okay? I can replace like r cosine with x or r sine with y, but this isn't r sine. But I can make it be r sine if I just multiply by r. So if I multiply this by r, this becomes r squared, and that becomes 4r sine. Okay, now you can multiply or add anything you want on either side, you just have to make sure you do it to both. Okay, and r sine is equal to y. So that means r squared is equal to 4y. Thank you. Okay, how can I get rid of r squared? What over here would help me?
M squared plus y squared.
Okay, so if I go here, this was my r equation. But I know r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared, so then I just take this and you just substitute that in. So r squared is x squared plus y squared. And the last thing is just get everything on the same side. So I'm just going to move the 4y over. I mean, you could move those two over here, that was less steps. Okay, so in order to write the equations, you have to get rid of the r and get rid of thetas. Any idea we're doing number 5? What can I do over here? Okay, so I could replace r, square root of x squared plus y squared. Okay, now we don't want square roots in our equations, so how do I get rid of the square root? Okay. So x squared plus y squared equals 16. And then I should get everything on the same side. So I'm just going to move the 16 because it's less steps. X squared plus y squared be done. Try to give you one like everyone will see. Thank you. Okay, if you're given the angle, we're gonna use our tangent, okay? So the tangent of the angle is equal to y over x. Okay, so I have my y's and my x's, but I still need to get rid of this part. So then I find, okay, what is the tangent of 2 pi over 3? Well, I know pi over 3 are square root of 3, and this is in the second quadrant. So negative square root of 3. And then if I just simplify this equation, so I multiply both sides by x. So negative square root of 3x equals y. Which do you want me to move, the y or the square root of 3? Okay, so make that positive. So if I move that over, that'd be square root of 3x plus y equals 0. Or you can move this over and they're both negative.